What's going on, everyone? How's your day going? So it's been more than a week since Ninja Gaiden the Master Collection came out, and I haven't stopped playing it, to be honest. I have about 50 plus hours on Ninja Gaiden 2 alone. Haven't touched Sigma 1 yet, but an interesting thing happened. I've actually been playing a ton of Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. It took me about 7 hours to beat the main story, with cutscenes included. I didn't really play Razor's Edge when I had it for the 360 or PS3. I tried, but the gameplay is just so different from Ninja Gaiden 2, since it was built from the ground up, that it didn't exactly appeal to me. And maybe it might be something like, after I played Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, the differences between that and the original were so obvious that maybe I went to Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge to cope, maybe? But I don't exactly think that's what it was. Ninja Gaiden 3 is a surprisingly rewarding experience. After finishing the campaign, there's a ton of things that you can go back and do, like collect the golden scarabs, the crystal skulls, but while collecting all 50 golden scarabs, you can unlock new costumes, weapons, and upgrades. That alone made it a ton more replayable. And honestly, going back into it, I was scared that it was going to have glitches like the infinite karma again, but they surprisingly fixed those issues. I was pleasantly surprised by how fun Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge is. It's actually a good Ninja Gaiden game in my opinion, and there's definitely not enough people defending this game, and it makes sense because with Ninja Gaiden 3, I know that people kind of lost hope in the series, or for post 2008 Team Ninja to make any more Ninja Gaidens. But man, Razor's Edge has some kick-ass action. I mean, from the character variation of Kazumi, Momiji, Ayane, and Ryu, it left a lot of reasons to go back and play it. This past week alone, I put in like 20 hours into the game. Gaiden 3 takes some getting used to, especially the weapons. After looking up some combos, you tend to get the hang of it more. It also goes in tandem with learning the enemy's movements and what works best with each type of enemy. And some can say that there's a lot of enemy auto-dodging and grab spamming, and because the flow of Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge is slightly different from the last two, it could just be seen as a simple way of taking advantage of the player. But the auto-dodging and grab spamming is just a way to prevent the player from spamming their moves, like in Ninja Gaiden 2, where you could pretty much just go into that game without knowing any combos whatsoever. I found myself in Ninja Gaiden 3 actually learning the combos and looking through them. That's why they have a real-time combo list while you're playing too. So all of that nonsense that the enemy does is simply to get you into the groove of the new game. And the learning curve for Ninja Gaiden 3 is just as difficult and annoying as it was to learn Ninja Gaiden 1's flow. Now getting past the combat. The story is a bit cheesy, but honestly touching by the end. With the original Ninja Gaiden 3, it showed a lot of lessons about the value of life, and it was pretty ham-fisted, but this one touches on it less, a lot less actually, so they cut a few parts from the story that would emphasize the value of life more, instead showing you by the end of the game that people can make a difference and sacrificing yourself can make an even bigger difference. And of course, Ryu is still a badass juggernaut, but that doesn't alter the fact that people around him are sacrificing themselves and giving to his cause, ultimately making a difference in his life, which I could appreciate to some extent. So the story wasn't terrible. At least there was a story. I felt like in Ninja Gaiden 1 there wasn't really anything. Ninja Gaiden 2, which is my favorite, just felt like a cheesy action movie storyline, which I dig, kind of like Bloodsport and Commando. And with the voice acting of 3, it wasn't terrible. I thought Troy Baker did an okay job as Ryu Hayabusa, but he does everything else, so I didn't really appreciate him as Ryu Hayabusa because he plays everybody in video games. So I naturally put the language to Japanese, and it turns out the guy who does Ryu's voice in Ninja Gaiden 3 reprised his role a 4th time. That guy's been playing that role since Ninja Gaiden 1, so it was actually very refreshing to hear his voice again since Ninja Gaiden DS. I still don't know how he makes those sound effects. And well, after finishing the story, that's when you get into the real meat of the game. The challenges, or ninja trials. There are about 100 unique ninja trials that you can go through, and you could play any of those ninja trials with any of the 4 characters, just like how you can go into chapter challenge with any of the 4 characters as well. And chapter challenge is basically the story missions without the story, which is a great thing. But going back into the Ninja Trials, it really shows how Ninja Gaiden 3's combat shines. There's a lot of focuses on specific weapons, and even though the enemies are grab happy, I feel like in the Ninja Trials they're less grab happy, or maybe it's my imagination. But I spent hours on end on the Ninja Trials alone, and it's been an amazing experience. It actually has me even more hyped for Ninja Gaiden 4. And going back to the chapter challenges, it does cut out the story, but it also cuts out the needless QTEs in some sections and adds extra bosses where they weren't. So in a way, chapter challenge is better than the original story missions. It's like the cut of the director's cut. And really quick, going back into the weapons, there aren't as many weapons as there was in part 2 or even 1, since there are about 6 or 7 in this game, but there are extra characters with even more weapons, like Kazumi with her windmill shuriken. But the weapons you do have upgrade past the point that they were at the end of Ninja Gaiden 2. My personal favorite being the Kasari Gamma, if I'm saying that right. It's upgraded to the point that when you attack with it, certain impacts create explosions. In Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, the upgrades pass the point of absurdity and just become the most deadly weapons you've ever wielded in a Ninja Gaiden game. And that is a plus for me, of course. And on that note, it is strange that they didn't add the Tonfa and the Vigorian Flail as well, since some enemies actually have the Tonfa. Just doubling that and adding it to Ryu's arsenal would have been a welcome addition as well. But showing that some of the enemies have Tonfa, or at least one, it shows they put at least a little bit of thought into including them. And comparing to Sigma 2, at least, the combat in Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge holds up very well, and gives a new flow to combat not previously seen in its predecessors. It definitely took some getting used to, but after getting over the hump, Ninja Gaiden 3's combat makes you feel even more badass than most Ninja Gaiden games, especially NGII. But all I'm really trying to say is, give Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge a shot, a real shot, and I bet in no time you'll get into the ninja groove of things. Clipping enemies and rocking hordes of fiends, however you want to take that sentence, will give you the betterment of the learning curve you need in one story length's time, about 4 hours give or take. Then you end up putting 30 plus hours into the game like I am, and still going. And let me know what you guys think about Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Did you give it a real chance, or are you still on the fence? Thanks for watching. Later.
Who wants a new Wii? Huh? Ah!